Hey guys, so I'm coming down off of my cold. I'm still not in top fighting form, but I still want to make videos, obviously. And so I'm going to take a comment that I received recently is that I really should just do more videos where I talk about things that I enjoy and things that I like. And I've been wanting to do a video on this watch, the Casio RANGEMAN, for quite a long time. You can see I'm wearing an Apple Watch right now. Why do I wear an Apple Watch over the RANGEMAN? Well, I work in an area where I'm not allowed to always have a phone or a pager or whatever, a watch for example. Anything that can transmit you can't really have in some instances. So that's why I have this. I also have this if I go hiking or if I go outdoors, if I need something that's rugged, if I need the capability of having a compass, a barometer, etc., then this is a better option than your phone with the Apple Watch. Because this requires internet connection. And if you're in an area where there is no internet connection, then it really doesn't matter if you have this on your watch. It'll keep time, yeah, but it's not going to have all the little features that this does. So this is the Rangemaster Master of G series in the olive drab green, what they call green resin. It's $186 on Amazon. Let me get the nitty-gritty out of the way. $186 on Amazon. Now, I found some interesting things about this watch and most of the G-Shocks. There are models that have extremely limited edition colorways. There's a black colorways with gray, and that's like over $300. Now, sure, the watch inside is a bit different, but largely it's the same outer features, the same control mechanisms, and the band goes for seriously really high dollar. You can go on eBay and you can look up RANGEMAN replacement bands. There's an all yellow band, and that's like $75 to $150 just to get the band, not even the watch. It's $186 for everything. So to pay that kind of money for the extra band, you know that this is not only a functional item, it's functionally cool, functionally capable, but it's also like a fashion item. So keep that in mind when you get a lot of these things, that they are very popular. They are very popular with the fashion crew, and for, I'm gonna say 90%, 80% of my audience, you guys are interested in the functional cool. This is functional cool first and foremost, but if there's also a fashion cool statement to it, you will look cool to certain people. Yeah, if you care about that, hey, it's just a perk of buying it, right? No big deal. Now, with that said, this is an Apple Watch. My wrists are tiny. When I wear this watch, it's quite big. It's a pretty big watch. And when I wear it with my thin little wrists, I actually have to tighten it up a bit. It looks sometimes out of place, but it fits fine when I wear business clothes, etc., etc. So why am I rambling on that? Well, the features of this watch are pretty well understood, and I want to explain more of how it fits in my life and why I like it so much. How I primarily use this is in the barometric pressure setting. There's two information panels here. There's the time panel, and then there's this info panel, and then there's a seconds panel. The time panel, I largely leave that to whatever time zone I'm in, and that is configurable. The upper panel, I leave to barometric pressure. And the reason for that is a lot of the places I go, like Colorado, and even now, recently California, we're getting really quick drops in barometric pressure, which leads to rain or snow. And then below that, I use the date. A couple of things why I like this so much is, in comparison to this, you don't have to charge this, ever. It's solar. It's solar and it's atomic, meaning that you can point this out of a window and let it sit, kind of like it's in this configuration, and it will automatically update its time based off of the time zone that you're in. And there's a couple lat-long information that you can set on this pretty simply to allow it to upload to the local atomic clock to you. So it's completely hassle-free. This has been sitting for over a week inside, hanging from something, not being solar powered, and the battery is fully charged. You can see it on the little display here. So that in itself, amazing. Walking around the band though for controls, you have a timer, start and stop controls, and then you have your edit controls for changing the display, the mode. There's a mode screen and adjust. Now, I'm not gonna go through all of those because those are things that you normally have, like alarms, setting your time zone, displaying UTC time if you wanted to do that, which is something I often do. UTC time is actually very handy for the things that I work on. So sometimes I'll set the bottom screen to UTC and the top to the time zone that I'm in. Helpful. What's most interesting is this sensor button, the sensor system on this watch. There are 3 sensors, really there's 4. The first sensor, and this is all based off of the last one you used so it can change, is a compass. It points degrees of where your where the watch is aiming, and then your most local thing, east, southeast, east, south, west, north. You get the idea. And then when you're in that mode, it will display your degrees on the bottom, time, and then your east, southeast, wherever your heading is, your most general heading. Duly note that one thing that a lot of people comment is you can see this black bezel, the black face I mean, because it's a reverse face. It's kind of difficult to read. Even in the light, you're probably not seeing this, and that's because it's focusing on my face. But even if I make the camera focus, it's going to be shiny and it's going to reflect everything else but the watch face. And it can be difficult to sometimes see it. Largely though, I haven't had a problem. Keep that in mind. Of course, you always have your light. You can hit the light, and when you hit the light, you can see a lot better. But still, it doesn't transfer very well in camera. Hit the button again, then you get your barometric pressure. Barometric pressure is, I think, for close to water, ground level, it's like 32%, something like that. And this will give you a graph of barometric change, and it will give you a large display readout of what the current barometric pressure is. That's helpful. Like I said, for reasons already defined. I usually am never in the barometric pressure sensor screen because I just need the readout. I just need to see when it dives. When it dives, that's when I know it's like, okay, it's probably gonna rain soon or snow or whatever. I care most about the compass and that quick readout that I can see on the time. And then the last one, and this is only sometimes important, altimeter. This gives you your altitude reading. Very similar pie graph type of screen too. It'll jump up as you change altitude, which I have proven it does do that when you're in a plane, for example. So it is pretty interesting. There's also a temperature. That would be the fourth sensor, but they don't really include that. And the reason is that when you're wearing this watch on your wrist, the sensor is reacting more to your wrist than it is the ambient temperature. So to get an adequate temperature reading, you actually have to take this off your wrist and put it on a table and let it sit. Is that really important? It could be. If you need that information, you have it, but by and large, I don't care that much. If and when I need to know what the temperature is, I'll end up being by a phone, and then that's good enough. So a couple of interesting features to get back. When you're in sensor mode, it's just going to keep wanting to display the sensor. It's going to think that's like your new home now. If you want to go back, you just hold down the mode button, and then you're right back to the main screen, which is the watch, and then whatever you've decided to put on this upper piece. There's plenty of other things. I believe there's even a sun up, sun down screen. That's under the mode select area. It seems a lot of the way that these work, and I've only had a couple of G-Shocks in my life, is that there's your standard time, stopwatch, mode adjust buttons, and reverse. And that's pretty standard. And then there's like some kind of sensor, and then the sensor is where it adds features to the watch. This is one of the more fully featured watches for a relatively inexpensive price, $185 for a watch that you never have to change the batteries on, you never really have to service aside from maybe changing the bands. Is a really damn good deal actually when it comes right down to it. Atomic, solar, barometric pressure, compass, and altimeter. Great deal. You still have a lot of other functions, time zone, timer, alarm. Sun up and sun down can be useful depending on where you're at. And then there's a way to load and save your configuration settings. All of that sounds really cute, and I'm being frank with you guys, I most likely would never use that. Not to say that you won't, that option is available there. There are details I'm glossing over very seriously. I apologize for that, but I wanted to tell you just what I like about the watch and why I think you might be interested in the watch. If you're interested in more details, you can go look up the manuals online, which gives you a little bit more feel of what's capable. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those questions on the comments below. Feel free to do that, or check me out on Instagram, Facebook, wherever, Snapchat even. Be happy to talk to you there as well. So guys, that'll do it. Question for this video, question of the day. Do you own G-Shock watches? If you have, or if you even own this one, what's your favorite one? What's your favorite thing about them? Why is my watch blowing up? One thing this doesn't do, right? An advantage of the Apple Watch is this tells you when you get email. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Up for you to decide. It's just more features, more functionality. So yeah, tell me what you think about the RANGEMAN and all the other G-Shocks. Like I said, I've only had a couple of G-Shocks and none of them were as fully featured as this one. I'm actually looking at potentially getting some more of the designer hipster ones, maybe a little bit smaller than this. I realize that by doing that, I won't get the sensors. I really like having the atomic watch with the solar. Those are like two of my favorites, and I could lose some of the features if I just had that in a bit smaller package. So I'll be looking at those in the future. Guys, if you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up. If you have not already, please subscribe, and I will talk to you tomorrow.